Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. I was going to say that for a minute. Is that me you're reading or maybe Mr. Ben? But then it was coming in down that John, just calm down. Wait. Good morning. Okay, it's afternoon already. Good afternoon, everyone. So just a second. I think we should give, Mr. Ben a good round of applause again. It deserves a solid round of applause. I mean, when they say that the news that broke the internet, that's what is just done, right? And I think because they usually also say that, the good book, which we call the Bible, says that when the foundation be destroyed, if the foundation be destroyed, right, what shall the righteous do? So he sets the foundation, and then I'm just going to be, building on that. First, I just want to say thank you once again for the organizers of this event, of this training, because it's not an event, it's a training. And so you should go home with tangible things, with action points. Very importantly, thank you so much for organizing these. And we trust that it's also going to, not just empower us as individuals, but also change the narrative of the Ibadan real estate space. And I think you should give yourself a round of applause too. Please. It's quite impressive in Ibadan when they say, come for trainings. People hardly come for trainings in Ibadan. Interestingly, not even interesting. I think sadly, people come for trainings. They hardly come for trainings in Ibadan. But seeing, a crowd like this come for a real estate training, I think is something that we should really celebrate. Yeah, so I'm just going to be sorry, I don't have my slides, but I have a few things I've jotted down. I'm going to be talking on Toolbox to building a real estate career from nothing. Toolbox to building a real estate career. Alaji, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Alaji is, I've known him way back. Toolbox to building a real estate career from nothing. And I like to talk about this topic more importantly because it's been my own personal experience, right? I remember getting into Ibadan, as a young boy and just really concerned about why is the real estate space like this? Someone that is from Lagos, so you've seen all the skyscrapers, you've seen all the big stuff being done in Lagos, and they are coming to Ibadan, and it looks like it's a laid back, environment, right? And I just really got angry in my spirit that what exactly, how can we change the narrative of this real estate space, particularly in Ibadan? And it doesn't have to start with the big pocket. That's one thing I think every one of us should know. That see, building a career, building a successful career doesn't necessarily start with you having the big money. Because in fact, many times if you have the big money, it many times ruins you because you've not gone through the thick and thin. You don't know how to manage, you don't know how to multiply. There's several things when we want to go into all of that. But I like to also share, I like to also give us a good news that the real estate space in Nigeria is a wide space for entrepreneurship. It's a big, big space for entrepreneurship. It's a space where anybody, literally anybody with passion, with grit, and with the basic skills, right? It's a space where you can thrive and build massive wealth in. So it doesn't matter what your background is, it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter your deficiencies, right? You can build major wealth in the real estate space. Tell yourself, I can build massive wealth through real estate. Right. And I just like to give a story because Mr. Ben started with a story. So let me take a cue from that. I remember getting into Ibadan, and so in a bid to change that narrative of the real estate space, an idea came to mind. I started something called Edgestone Real Estate Institute. You heard when you read the profile, and really the mission about that school is to help businesses and careers discover, nurture, and redefine careers and businesses in real estate. Discover, nurture, and redefine careers and businesses in real estate. But guess what? So one of the models we had was to go to estate managers. People I will call estate managers, people that studied estate management in school. All right. And just tell them that, see, yes, I know you spent 7 years. We're not undermining that fact. But the truth of the matter is, from experience, Across board, the people that have built wealth in any industry are people outside of those industries. If you check very, and this is statistics, it's fact. The people that have built wealth in any industry, whether it's medicine, whether it's real estate, whether it's agriculture, they're largely people that have, that are outside of those industries. There's a man called Dr. Abib. I don't know if you know Dr. Abib. He's the founder of Ibadan Central Hospital. So yes, he's a medical doctor, but he runs an hospitality business that is doing extremely well in Ibadan. He didn't study maybe hotel, maybe hospitality in school. He's a medical doctor by profession, but he runs a thriving hospitality business. In Nigeria today, the people that are making the biggest money in real estate are people outside of those industries. All right. And so that's why I want you to know foundationally that, see, it doesn't matter whether you study real estate. Sure, the matter is you can build and amass wealth from this same space. So I remember just going to talk to those estate managers. Let's see, we're holding a training. Just the idea is just to empower people to build wealth for themselves through real estate. And we just want you to come, around as facilitators. You know, I remember one particular incident happened somewhere around Bodija. I can never forget that woman's office. She once sent me out. That so you mean the school, what we use 7 years to learn in school, you're saying you can teach people, in few months training and then they can start building. I said, interesting, but that's the truth. All right? I'm not undermining the fact that yes, you studied estate management as a course in school, but the truth of the matter is the world is changing, and you should. Look at Mr. Ben was telling me about people that know nothing on social media, and then they are earning in hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? Thousands of dollars, and that's the truth. So I remember one of them sent me out of her office. She said, "Get out of my office! How can you say that the career we spent years building in 1 month training, in 2 months training, you can teach people and then you can start making money?" I said, "Ma, it's true." So she sent me out. Another one said I should wait. So that woman, a woman too, interestingly, she said I should wait. I thought maybe she was planning to, discuss with me on how we can better push it. Guess what? She went ahead to call the head of, I think they have NIFS. I don't know if you know NIFS, National Institute of Estate Management and stuff. So she went ahead to call the head and said, there is one guy in my office trying to undermine, our effort. So the man came, interested. So the man wasn't around. So he sent someone and then they asked me, so what are you saying about? They were going to literally arrest me. So you're saying that because you've learned how to sell, you can undermine what the truth of the matter is the truth. Okay. And that's why, I usually say it everywhere that, see, the real estate space in Nigeria, particularly, I don't know of other clients, but in Nigeria, it's a space where you can thrive and building, no matter how much of money you have, no matter your background, no matter your calling. So that's that. I want that to sink in. First, I'm going to be talking about what we call infopreneurship. And these are part of the ways by which we can. So again, I'm teaching us on how you can start from nothing, building wealth in this industry from nothing. And there's a model I think that would always get you ahead, and it's called infopreneurship. There's a book by Robert G. Allen. It's called Infopreneurship: The Art of Selling Information. Right? And I think that one of the best things we can do in this real estate industry, particularly as realtors, is to understand the power of information. Right? Understand the power of information. Someone called it educate to attract, attract to engage. Educate to attract, attract to engage. That's one of the most powerful tools you can use in building wealth or in starting a career from real estate. Yes, you don't know anything about it. Of course, you go ahead. Propertyville, for instance, we have different properties, different product and stuff. The first thing you need to do is understand the product. It's called product knowledge. Have the product knowledge, and then go ahead and start teaching the public how to benefit from those products. what they can gain. And I think one of the major reasons why a lot of us don't even sell is because we are trying to sell the feature of the product rather than selling the benefit of the product. And so if you get an iPhone 15, for instance, yes, it has XYZ megapixel of camera, but what is the benefit of that megapixel? All right. And so the first thing you need to understand is that I need to educate to attract. So first thing is, once you educate, we want to teach people the benefit. By the way, I'm not sure I got the time I started. Thank you. Thank you. Because if you leave me here, I could spend the rest of the day. So educate to attract and attract to engage. Teach people the benefit of a product rather than the feature of the product. So a typical example, I don't know where we have our lands or our products in Omia, you just meet you by the road, give me a flyer, just come and buy land. And that's that's the dumbest way to sell a product. Come and buy. So why should I buy this land? They just like buy land, buy land, buy land because I need money. I need to close the sale. You know. So we have a product in Omia deal. Why should people buy into this product? Yes, after you have listed the features of this product, now what are the benefits of the features of that product? So that product, for instance, maybe that land is say 5 minutes drive from Omea Dio train station, for instance. Now that's a feature. But why should I own a land that is 5 minutes drive from a train station? That's a benefit. That's one. So you do maybe Jericho products, for instance. You're saying, I mean, why should I own a land or why should I own a property in Jericho? It's not because I have the money and so I should just show you the money there. What experience is that going to give to me as the buyer? And so beyond selling the product, make sure that you're also selling an experience. Make sure you're selling the benefit. And that's what is called infopreneurship. So you educate people to attract, and then you attract. So once you've attracted them, you now do what? You engage. And that's the concept about social media too. It has to be entertaining, it has to be educative. And people tend to also pull towards people that are educative. So that's the first thing. Infopreneurship. Make sure that you're not just selling the features of any product, but you are also selling the benefits. Don't forget, we are talking on how you can start from nothing. So you don't have a dime, right? Maybe you are okay, let's say you don't have a dime, but you're asking yourself, just with your phone. Mr. Ben was telling me, just do a video. Oh, this product is this, it has this, and it can help you do this and this. Push it out there. Somebody said that your network is your net worth, right? A lot of us, in fact, I was in a training one day, and the facilitator said something. He said, for every time he sees humans, what he's seeing is money. So as I'm seeing people here, what the person is seeing is money, literally, right? And so when they said connect, network, it's not because it's not because we don't have anything to do. It's just so that you never can tell in the next 2 months, in the next 4 months, that person that you have saved their number would need something you are selling. All right, so that's that entrepreneurship. The second thing I like to talk about is okay, I'm going to be talking about value, volume, frequency, but of course, I'm going to break it down to you. Now, after you have mastered the art of entrepreneurship, it's also important that you also understand that the information you are giving has to also produce a value to the audience or to the market. So you're taking a product, you're taking the product by Omiadio. What value is this product going to give to the public? All right. And so at every point in time, the question you should be asking yourself is what value am I giving with this product to the public? And truth of the matter is, the more value you give, the more money you make. In fact, you are as wealthy as the amount of value that you give. You are as wealthy as the amount of value that you give, as the amount of solution that you prefer. And so the first thing is make sure that at every point in time, the product you are selling is delivering value. Delivering what? Value. That's first. The second is that deliver the value and make sure it gets you good volume. By good volume, I mean commission. You all like commission. Who doesn't like commission here? Who doesn't like commission? Okay, who likes commission? I mean, literally everybody. And so, yes, you're giving value, but you need to also get something back in return for the value you're giving. And so, what you're getting in return is the volume, you know. So, let's take an instance. If you sell a 200 million naira property, so you say you get a 10% commission, that's about 20 million naira. But if you get 20 million naira in 1 year, is that a good sale? 20 million in 1 year. Okay, maybe you guys are playing small. I mean, but for some people, 20 million in 1 year is almost like 20 million in 1 year for the whole of 5 days, just one sale. But yes, good volume. So you need to make sure that you're delivering value first. You are getting good volume from the value you are delivering. But more importantly, you need to also act frequency. So you're giving value, you're getting volume, and then you are delivering that value in good frequency such that you can start making 20 million every month or every week or every day. Because truth of the matter is, if you make 20 million, if you're a business owner, for instance, and then you have staff, you're paying office rent, you're doing all of that, and then you're getting 20 million in 1 year. I mean, in no time you're out of business. All right. And so frequency is so important. And that's the idea around leveraging on social media, leveraging on realtors, leveraging on network marketing, and all of those things. You know, so value, volume, and what? Frequency. So the question you ask yourself is, how am I going to give value to the public? How am I going to make sure I'm getting good volume back in return? And then how am I also going to, get this value out in good frequency? Part of that, I don't want to go really deep. I mean, because it's not, if it's a masterclass, maybe we can really go deep into all of these things. Part of delivering good frequencies, leveraging on digital marketing, and that's a wide space too. That's part of how you can get good frequency. So that's that. So value, volume, and what? Frequency. Um, yeah. The third thing is, it's okay to start by being a generalist. It's okay to start by being a generalist, but make sure you are ending or you are building to being a specialist. I'm going to explain that. I'm talking to us as realtors now that has almost nothing. So you are starting from the ground up, and then the first question you're asking yourself is, how can so you're saying I should, particularly in this new age where everything, if you get online, you'll see a lot of high-end, high-quality videos, and asking yourself, how can I match up with all of these guys? That alone can just make you paralyzed. That's it. This thing is not for me. Look, I go find, look, I go find my level. But the truth of the matter is, it's okay being a generalist. By generalist, I mean you can be okay. Okay, I think I like to share my own personal story. So when we started, I started with being a real estate. I was training. I'm seeing a couple of the guys that joined our real estate training when we started in 2019. Then, right? And I remember that I would do the graphics, I would train, I would market, I would, literally do everything, everything. And so, what you should do is ask yourself, as a realtor, you shouldn't be bothered, or you shouldn't be, maybe bothered about, let me get a camera first, let me get this, start from where you are. Be the generalist. Sometimes it could take a lot of fortune to pay technicians. So if you want to hire maybe a good videographer, for instance, they're going to charge you real good. And if you don't have the money, you think that that's all there is to life. So make sure that you're being the generalist. You should be the graphics. I remember using Canva then. I would use Canva to design, flyer, and then I would go ahead to tell people about the training, and then I would also come to train. And they're wondering, this guy was the one that came around to tell us about the training. Why is he the one training us again? But of course, over time we built. Over time we built from there. So as a realtor, it's okay to be a general. It's okay to be the graphic designer for your product. Interestingly, now we don't even have to be the graphic designer, because Our developers usually have, flyers. So it's a lot easier now. Okay. But being a social media manager, that's if you don't have money. Like I said, we are talking about how you can start from nothing. I mean, it's okay if you have all the money, you can go ahead and hire the technicians. But you don't have all the money. You're asking yourself, how can I start from scratch? All right. Go and learn. You don't even have to. If you download CapCut, for instance, there's several things you can do with CapCut. CapCut is a video editing application. Canva for graphics. There are several platforms online that could guide you to doing all of that. So you don't have an excuse to not selling. So be a generalist and then but also build to become a specialist. By a specialist, I mean, as you're now building even into your brokerage firm, you're now being maybe the entrepreneur. And of course, that's another big space. In business, they say that there are three kind of people in a business. There's the entrepreneur, there's the technician, and then there's the manager, right? The entrepreneur works on the business. It thinks about strategy, thinks about how we can, scale the business. And then there's the technician. Technician works in the company. So the graphics designer, the videographer, the marketer, all of those guys that work within this office space, they are the technicians. And of course, there's the manager that works around the company. And so, as you are being the generalist and you are building to become the specialist, make sure that you're now finding out: am I the technician? Am I the entrepreneur? Or am I the manager? So, for example, a fashion designing business now, a fashion designer could know how to sew. That's a technician. He can use the machine and then he can sew. But at some point of growth, you also know that to scale, you need to move from being just the guy on the machine to also thinking, how can I scale? How can I think strategy? How can I think expansion and all of those things? And so identify your strength. Am I the entrepreneur? Am I the technician? Or am I the manager? Do we understand? Am I the what entrepreneur? Am I the technician? Or am I the manager? So find your strength and then play to it. So again, it's okay to be in the generalist, but make sure that you are becoming a specialist at the end of the day. Um, let me rush. Okay, so having done all of that, so you're building to becoming a specialist. The question you're asking yourself now is, how can I start having people around me that can work together with me? Okay. So now, as a realtor, you're selling a bit. You're selling one or two plots every day or maybe every week and stuff. And so you're asking yourself, I need to now start scaling. How can I start that? I think one of the ways you can do it is many times make sure you're offering equity. So you get someone who is a master at selling, right? And then maybe you have products and you're asking us, I can't pay this guy, or maybe a video editor, I can't pay this guy his money. I mean, he's asking for a neck, but I can't pay him. Instead of having to look for money to pay, offer him an equity. Say, okay, guy, if we sell or close this deal, you're going to be getting maybe 5% out of your 10%. Do we see? So instead of burden yourself about how can I look for the graphic designer, how can I look for the video editor, how can I look for, all of those technicians, offer equity instead of selling a business. And of course, part of offering equity is knowing how to sell a vision. You need to understand the power of selling a vision. Like I said, we are just picking all of these things one after the other. I mean, they're deep stuff that we really need to have a master class on. So offer equity. And the challenge a lot of us have is we've calculated the money. It's about 10%. So, like Pastor Ben said, I mean, that's cheap, or that's very cool. You're looking at that's what is on your mind, and you're not willing to share with people. Offer equity. Someone said that 1% of 100 billion is better than 100% of 10 million. Offer equity. So you have someone who is good at video editing, tell the person, see, this is what we're trying to do, right? If you partner with us, I mean, if we join as hands together to build this thing, you're going to be getting maybe 5% too. 5% of 20 million. That's about 10 million or so. And that's something. So instead of looking to have all the cake or eat all the cake, make sure they're also sharing. So instead of, I mean, getting to sell a business, sell a vision, and then make sure you're offering equity to the guys that you are looking to come around work for you. I'm trying to skip a few things. Okay, I already spoke about um, master the art of selling a vision rather than just the business. Okay, another important thing is one of the things I think a lot of us, particularly young people like us, have in this part of the world is we are so impatient. We are so impatient. So the first thing, like I said earlier, is that when you get money, you're thinking about how can I go buy the next big car, right? But there's something called delayed gratification, and that's something we all need to practice. That's something we all need to learn as budding entrepreneurs, as budding realtors. I say the fact that I'm making a 20 million naira in commission doesn't mean I should go squander the money, right? Go back to reinvesting that money into your business. So I spoke on develop roots downward. Don't think that you have arrived. Develop roots what downward. I like to usually use the analogy of the Chinese bamboo tree. I don't know if any of us know the story of the Chinese bamboo tree. The Chinese bamboo tree in its first 4 years is length. I mean, it's said that it develops its roots downward the soil. So imagine for 4 good years, you planted a tree, and then for 4 years, it's not bringing anything up the ground. And you need to keep watching every day. Just imagine that. A typical Nigerian will give up. So success in real estate or as a realtor is like the Chinese bamboo tree that in its first 4 years, it develops its roots downward the soil. But guess what? In its fifth year, it said that I mean this is everywhere. You can go search online, just Google Chinese bamboo tree. It grows as high as 80 to 90 feet in only about 4 to 5 weeks. Just imagine that. Some people call it Chinese bamboo, some people call it Asian bamboo tree. But guess what? In its first 4 years, it was busy developing its roots downward the soil with nothing to show for it. And so you're making money. I mean, the first reaction you want to get is let me go and squander, let me go and I mean, you want to buy the things you don't need to impress the people that don't even care. Do we understand? And so make sure that you are reinvesting into yourself. I mean, for the Chinese, somebody said that if you stand by it long enough, you can literally see it growing. And it's regarded as one of the strongest bamboo trees in the world. So that's the idea. That's it. You have to understand the power of delayed gratification. Develop roots downward. Tell yourself how to develop roots downward. That's so important. Um, so I said, don't think you have arrived when you made your first sale. Invest back into your business. And if I can afford two, I won't buy one. So if I want to buy a car, for instance, I can't afford. Maybe they're saying the car is 20 million. I know that if this car is stolen today, I can't afford to buy another one. I'd rather not buy it. So if and I mean, and these are principles for us as realtors, particularly because we are just growing. So you're starting to make all the money. I mean, maybe the commissions here and there, and then the next thing you're thinking is let me go and live in Jericho, or let me go and live in those things. I mean, so those things it has its own parts too, actually. I mean, that's part of marketing. So it has its own side to where you need to also get into the place where you can get, leads, right? And but if you can't afford two, at least don't buy one. That's part of the ways we can discipline ourselves. Thank you. Discipline ourselves to making sure that we start from nothing. Because again, and all of these things, there are things I've practiced myself. I've practiced myself and I've seen that these things are possible. I remember in closing, maybe I'm just going to share this story. I remember one of the projects we have. I mean, at the time I thought to buy a 2 million naira car. I'd bought a 40 acres land somewhere around. Mr. Olu should know. Somewhere Alabata. That was when Alabata was they were shouting Alabata money. Yeah. You know, early days. But guess what? My other partner will say, oh, but John, you're making a lot of money. You're getting this. But you should buy something, you should buy. I mean, but I understood very well that first, there's nobody I'm trying to impress. Second is that it's what you have invested that is going to because it's seed, and then we bought 40 acres of land, and now it's now become, in fact, the last time we did an evaluation was roughly about maybe half a billion or so. Some because I just some they're selling for maybe 2 million plus or so. So imagine multiplying 2 million by 40 acres. That's the idea around, delayed gratification. So it's something we all need to understand that, see, if you want to go far in this industry, you need to practice delayed gratification. There are people that have come in the scene. Mr. Olu will testify. They've come in the scene and then chase down the line. They're off. They're out of the space. Why? Because they make a sale, and the next thing you're seeing them all around, blowing money everywhere. So if there's one thing I really want to leave with us today is that yes, it's possible to build wealth from nothing doing real estate, but it's going to be painful too at the start. So first is make sure you're offering good value. Make sure you are leveraging on how you can get good frequency. Also make sure you are, being a generalist and then looking forward to being a specialist. Also make sure that you are, willing to give equity instead of wanting to have everything to yourself. And then more importantly, practice the act of delayed gratification. Thank you. God bless.